Welcome everyone to today's Explainer. So we're taking a slightly different approach today. Think of this as, well, a highly specialized mock psychology lecture. We're going to dive deep into a truly fascinating, deeply romanticized, and, let's be honest, utterly chaotic ecosystem. I'm talking about the mind of a trans lesbian girl we'll refer to simply as Subject Rayo. I'll be your guest professor today, and I am absolutely thrilled to walk you through this clinical case study. What we're doing is mapping out the literal theatrical contrast between the tiny, microscopic external input Subject Rayo receives and the massive, big-budget cinematic drama that erupts internally. It's honestly Olympic-level overthinking, and it is just incredible.
Okay, here's our syllabus for the day. First, an introduction to Subject Rayo. Then, we look at the stimulus-response disconnect. Third, financial impulsivity. Fourth, hyper-romanticization. And finally, we'll wrap up with our final diagnosis. Let's jump right in.
Section 1. Introduction to Subject Rayo and Establishing the Baseline Routine.
Right, to really understand Rayo's psyche, we have to look at the operating system running in the background from the second she wakes up. Just look at the sheer velocity of the escalation here. Step 1, perfectly mundane, she drinks tea. But then, bam, step 2, she falls in love, which obviously triggers step 3, pure, unadulterated panic. So to cope, she moves to step 4 and writes poetry. And that brings us to step 5, the absolute hallmark of Subject Rayo. She creates literally 15 seasons of high-stakes television drama from a single isolated text message. And the kicker, this isn't a one-off event. It's a daily, sometimes hourly cycle, completely detached from whatever is actually happening in the real world.
Moving to Section 2, the stimulus-response disconnect, analyzing external versus internal processing. This perfectly captures the phenomenon. So a normal person gets a text saying good morning with a little red heart. They process it as polite, they reply, good morning, boom, done. But Rayo? Oh, she gets that exact same input, and her internal narrative goes into absolute overdrive. She completely skips a simple reply and starts researching rustic cottage wedding venues. Seriously, she's mapping out cottagecore interior design aesthetics, debating future cat names, and, my personal favorite, looking into international immigration policies. So a tiny good morning text triggers a logistically complex, monumental internal storyline.
Which brings us to the ultimate existential question that plagues her basically all the time. What does this heart emoji actually mean? You see, for Rayo, an emoji is never just an emoji. No, it's a puzzle box holding the secrets of the universe. She has this highly specialized, if totally unscientific, ability to detect immense, life-altering affection from one single pixelated graphic.
So let's look at how this hyperprocessing works in an actual relationship. Here's a real-world interaction. We have an incredibly basic, super friendly text from someone in Rayo's life named Muskie. The message is just, please eat. It's a standard check-in, right? Basic human decency. And then we get Subject Rayo's massive emotional output. She cares about my survival. Look at the all caps. That is an intense spike in emotional resonance right there. And the emojis. We've got the loud crying face, an engagement ring, and a heart. So basic human decency has just been officially interpreted, processed, and categorized by Rayo's brain as a literal marriage proposal.
And we see the exact same thing in their very next interaction. Muskie offers a simple platitude, take care of yourself. Rayo instantly assigns this intense historical meaning, basically declaring she's going to frame these words and preserve them for future generations. The theatricality is genuinely impressive. Her mind is like the archivist of a great empire, treating a casual iMessage like it's the Dead Sea Scrolls.
All right, Section 3, Financial Impulsivity and the Vulnerabilities of the Psyche.
Because look, when your mind is constantly living in a romanticized movie, the monthly budget is going to take a hit. Let's check this hilarious, devastatingly quick 5-minute descent. Minute 0. She is showing strict, responsible financial planning. I need to save money. Great. But her psyche is just way too vulnerable to aesthetics. Minute 1, she's buying skincare. Minute 2, distressed jeans. Minute 3, a quote-unquote cute thing. Minute 4, a very cute thing. And by minute 5, the inevitable outcome. Her savings account is literally crying in the corner. Her impulse control is just completely overridden by the pursuit of aesthetic perfection.
So why does her willpower collapse so fast? Well, let's formally examine her psychological vulnerabilities, which pretty much map the trans lesbian experience as a set of clinical triggers. On the biological side, we've got hormones and a deep susceptibility to soft voices. On the unscientific side, cute girls, the overwhelming emotional rush of just being told, good job, and the final fatal blow to her defenses, ginger tea.
Literally, if you deploy a soft voice, ginger tea, and a cute girl all at once, Subject Radio's operating system completely crashes.
Section 4. Hyperromanticization, creating symbolism where none exists. Let's analyze her pastimes. They are incredibly revealing. She turns every single life event into a philosophical essay. She writes highly emotional diary entries at 4 a.m. She insists on giving people cute nicknames just to establish that cinematic intimacy. But the best part? Romanticizing ceiling fans? I mean, a ceiling fan is probably the most mundane appliance on Earth, but Subject Radio watches it spin and is probably drafting a tragic poem about the circular nature of unrequited love. Her brain just flat out refuses to let anything be ordinary.
Which brings us to Section 5, our final diagnosis and the ultimate conclusion.
So, taking all this data, the tea drinking, the text message analysis, the distressed jeans, the romanticized ceiling fans, we arrive at our deadpan academic conclusion. Subject rayo transcends standard human classification. Our final diagnosis? Rayo is not merely a person. She is an entire, self-contained cinematic universe. Think about it. She's got the plot twists, the high-stakes emotional arcs, the meticulously curated aesthetics, and a script where every single line of dialogue has life-or-death romantic stakes.
Which leaves us with one final, very provocative question to end class on today. Knowing what we know about the sheer velocity of her hyperromantic mind, what happens tomorrow? If a random cloud happened to look vaguely like a heart, is it going to trigger another 700-word philosophical essay about destiny? Well, based on our explainer today, I think we all know the answer is an enthusiastic, panicked, and heavily overanalyzed yes. Thank you all for joining me for this case study. I hope you walk away with a newfound appreciation for the complex, hilarious, and wonderfully chaotic world of Subject Rayo. Until next time, keep analyzing.